So today I'm going to share with you the biggest thing that has improved my mental health. I've released a video a few weeks ago about how much I was hating my life at that point and kind of how low I felt. I was basically just so desperate for something to change. I just wanted something to be different. I wanted to feel different within me. So I've decided to make some changes in my life, and one of them is to take up running again. And it's been one of the biggest change and improvement in terms of my mental health. So I'm going to kind of talk a little bit about that today. When I first decided to start running again, it was mostly to do with wanting to feel healthier in myself. I was so tired all the time and I feel like I didn't have energy for a lot of things. I was just so exhausted mentally and physically. Like I said, I was so desperate for something to change. I felt like surely exercising more isn't going to be a bad thing, and I was just willing to try anything that could potentially make me feel better. So I decided to take up running again, and I know usually when I decide something kind of on a whim, I end up losing motivation and I feel like, oh, it's not going anywhere, or it's so easy to talk myself out to not get up and go for a run or not do this workout. So I decided to enter for a 10k race, which is in November. I've also been uploading videos of my training progress. That's more to do with me wanting to be accountable for what I said I'll do and stick to it. So that's why I publicly shared what my plan was, and that I'm committing to doing a 10k run. And I feel like now that I've said it, that I have to do it. Having that commitment has definitely given me the motivation to keep going. I know there's so many times where I would just sit and do nothing, or I would just not have anything to focus on, and I'll end up just be in my own head thinking about dark thoughts and things that aren't very good for my mental health. And I feel like taking up running and having something to focus on and really try to achieve that has actually filled my head with thinking about running a lot. Even just after every run, I would think about, oh, what I've done well, or what went well, or anything that didn't go so well. For example, I would think about, oh, it was cold this morning, I need to think about other clothes and other gear, or my running shoes are causing me pain, so I need to buy some new running shoes. So that whole thing is not just about running, but everything else that goes with it has actually occupied my mind enough to take my mind off other thoughts that I don't want them to be there. So I feel like this whole running journey so far has helped me a lot in just distracting me. I know distraction usually is not a long-term solution, but for me at the moment, I feel really good that I do have a distraction and something else to think of. So I feel like running has been kind of the biggest and most effective change I've made so far, that I really feel the difference. Running has given me a reason to get out of bed early in the morning as well. I would used to lie in bed not wanting to get out. Obviously I have to get up for work, but I would lie in bed until the very last moment, and then I'll get up and then just struggle through the day and feel like I hate this, I hate every moment of this. And then I would come home from work and I feel like I'm just waiting to go to bed and then do the same thing all over again. It was just a really horrible way to live at that point for me, and I just didn't want to do it. I just hated it. But since deciding to do running and committing to it, I feel like I wake up with a purpose, and getting up early doesn't feel so daunting and horrible anymore, because I feel like I'm doing something good. I feel like I'm doing something very healthy and it's very good for me. And usually when I finish one run, I'm already looking forward to the next run. Normally I do a run, and then the following day I'll do a workout, and then so alternating day I'll do a run. But then the days where I know I'm not going to be running but doing a workout instead, I kind of feel almost a little bit disappointed that I'm not going for a run, because it makes me feel so good. I've done running in the past, but I've never kind of felt the same way as I do now. I think I'm just at a different stage of my life, whereas previously I kind of just wanted to do it because it was a challenge, even though it's still a challenge for me now. But back then I just did it because it was hard and I just wanted to complete the race without actually thinking too much about it and not really focusing on how running made me feel. But now I'm a bit older and it's been a few years, and it was a different reason why I started running. So it has definitely made me realize how good it is to be working out and exercising. I just never really appreciated it in the past, but now I really understand I need to keep going, and hopefully running is going to be part of my life for many years to come. And now that I know it makes such a big difference to my mental health, I feel like it is definitely something I want to keep doing in the future. I feel like for a long time being mentally unwell has really drained me. It's drained me from my energy, physically, mentally, like everything I do or I try to do, I would just feel so exhausted. I just didn't have the energy, even though I could sleep 10 hours a night or even 12 hours a night, but I just still feel like I was so exhausted, and it really frustrated me because I hated feeling that way. I've always been someone who's very active and I always want to still be that person, but because of how I felt inside me, it was just something that I really struggled for quite a long time. But now that I've started running, I feel I have more energy. Even if I don't get a good night's sleep or I don't sleep that many hours in the night, I just have more clarity in my head as well to think the things that I want to think about or plan the things that I want to plan for events, holidays, or anything that I want to do. Before I started running, I would really dread going to bed every night because I know I would just lie in bed awake thinking about things I don't really want to think about, but I can't control it, and it just goes in a downward spiral and I feel worse and worse and worse, and then I end up not sleeping, and then I worry about not getting enough sleep and then having to wake up early the next day, and then the whole thing just goes round and round, and it's the same every day, every night. But since I've started running, I feel like I don't dread going to bed anymore, because now that I want to get up early to go for a run and I know how good it makes me feel, I actually make the conscious effort to go to bed early, or I try to go to bed early, get a decent night's sleep, and then I can wake up and continue my goal. I just feel like I don't have as many negative thoughts as I used to, and I think it's mostly because I have something to focus on, and I do generally sleep better than before I started running. At the moment, I go out 3 times a week for a run, and it's only been the 4th week that I've been committed to doing this training and doing it consistently, but I already feel such a big difference in me, in my mind and my physical health. I feel less out of breath a lot of the times when I go for a walk, or if I walk up a big hill. I feel like my physical health has definitely improved just by going running. But the biggest thing that's done to me is my mental health, and I can't stress enough how good running makes me feel, and I feel like that applies to any sort of exercise. It could be swimming, it could be cycling, or even just walking. I understand there'll be certain reasons why people can't go for a run, so I'm not saying you have to go running to improve your mental health. I mean, in general, just working out and get your blood pumping. Even just going out for a walk makes a huge difference. Previously, before I started running, I would try to go on long walks on the weekends, and as much as I kind of don't want to go at the time because I feel like I'm so tired and I don't really commit to a long run, but once I'm out and I get going, I can feel myself improve. I can feel my mood improving and generally just feel better, just getting fresh air. And then sometimes when I'm lucky, it's sunny out and I go for a walk and it just makes me feel so good. I feel like just any sort of activity, just keeping active would make you feel really good, or just even going outside for fresh air, sitting outside. It's just anything to be outside and not stuck indoors. So running has helped me massively, and I would definitely recommend anyone to give it a go, or like I say, try other exercises. Just try it and see if it makes you feel better. You won't know until you tried, and I wouldn't have known if I didn't decide to go running. Sometimes when you get to the point where any change is better than no change, it'll push you to do something you probably thought you'd never be able to do, or you never thought you could do in the past. As long as you're willing to change and willing to take that first step, anything is possible. And for me, it's a big eye opener, and I'm sure you'll be able to do that too and find that thing that changes your life. I'm hoping I'll still be running for many years to come, but who knows, it might just be this time in my life that it works, and it might be something else in the future. But without taking that step to make that change, you would never find out what works and what doesn't. If you want to get better in any aspect of your life, just make that change today. Don't think about it too much, don't worry about it, and don't talk yourself out of it. Just do it, give it a go, and see what happens. What's the worst that could happen? You might hate it and then never do it again, and that's fine too. So that's been my chatty video about what running has done to me, and it's helped me immensely. I cannot stress enough how much it has helped me in the last few weeks. So I would urge you to try and do the same. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. And if you wouldn't mind considering subscribing to my channel, that would be very nice of you. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on my next video.